Hey guys, this is Evan from EzOrigami, and today I'll be teaching you how to fold one of my original origami designs named Stella. It's a very simple modular model, and it looks great when it's completed. This model requires 8 square sheets of paper. Each unit is folded from 1 square, and I recommend using 3-inch squares to fold the units. Using 3-inch squares will result in a star about 4¼ inches wide. And I'm going to be using larger paper with color on one side and white on the other, just to make it a bit easier to follow along. And once you've prepared your paper, then we're going to start with our first square with the white side up. And then we're going to fold in half diagonally. So take this bottom right corner and fold it up to the top left corner. Align the corners and the edges, then make your crease, and then unfold. Then we're going to slightly rotate the paper so that the crease you just made is now held vertically. And now we're going to fold over this top left edge and align it with the crease that we just made. So we're going to do that by pulling this left corner over to the right. Then we want to start at the top of the model and work our way down until the entire colored edge is aligned with that crease. Just like this. Then you can make your crease all the way across. And then you can turn the model over. And now we're going to fold up this bottom corner by making a horizontal crease that extends from this bottom right corner here. So we're going to do that by pulling up this bottom corner, and we just want to continue pulling it up until you notice this white horizontal edge underneath. And we want our new crease to align with that edge. But before you make your crease, you also want to make sure that the vertical creases in the center of the model align as well. Then you can make your crease. And again, we're going to fold over this top left edge and align it with this vertical crease. So we're going to do that by pulling this left corner over to the right. Then once again, we want to start at the top of the model and work our way down until the entire white edge is aligned with that crease. And once everything is aligned, then you can make your crease. And now we're going to fold over this top layer along the left edge of this white triangle underneath. So we're going to do that by starting in the bottom left corner, and we're just going to fold over the colored flap like this. Then we want to work our way up until the colored edge is completely aligned with the white edge of that triangle. And once both edges are aligned, then we're just going to make our crease right along the triangle's edge here. Then you can unfold, and now we're going to make an angle bisector. And we're going to do that by taking the bottom edge of this top flap here and aligning it with the diagonal crease that we just made. So we want to lift up this top flap. Then we want to start at the bottom left corner and work our way up and over to the right, aligning the colored edge with that crease. And once it's completely aligned, then you can make your crease. And then we want to fold up this colored flap one more time along the crease underneath. So we're just going to fold this entire flap over to the left, just like that, along an existing crease. And once you have that, then I want you to remember this point here where this colored corner intersects with this left edge. Then we're going to turn the model over. And now we're going to make a diagonal crease that extends from the reference point that I mentioned before. So I've marked that point on the right side of the model, and essentially it's where this colored flap underneath ends and aligns with the right edge of the model. So what we want to do from here is make our crease pivot from that point. So we're going to lift up the bottom right corner of the model, and we're going to pull it over to the left. And as you're doing this, I suggest making a small pinch mark at that reference crease just to make it easier to pivot this flap along that point. Then the next step is to align the corner that we're folding over with this left edge here. So we're going to do that by simply folding it down like this, and you may have to slightly adjust the paper to get it in the correct position. And before you make your crease, you also want to make sure that this white edge is parallel with the colored edge on the top of the model. And the last step to make sure this flap is in the correct position is to make sure you have a 90-degree angle at the bottom of the model here. The closer you get to 90 degrees, the easier it'll be to assemble the units. So once that flap is completely aligned, then you can make your crease through all layers, and your model should look like this. If you turn it over, it should look like this on the back side, and if you flip it over one last time, then this is one completed unit. Now you must fold 7 more. Once you've folded all 8 units, you're going to need 2 to start the assembly. Then, look at one, and you'll notice that it has a large colored flap on the left side, and it also has a pocket underneath this colored triangle here. Then again, we're going to take our second unit, and we want to slightly rotate our first unit like this. Then from here, we want to insert the right side of the second unit inside of this colored pocket on the first unit. Then we want to lift up both units, and we want to carefully bring them together like this. Again, making sure that the right side of the second unit goes inside of the colored pocket on the first unit. And you'll want to slightly adjust the units so that their colored flaps come to a common point at the center of the model here. You'll see that the white and colored edges on both units will align as well. And once you have this, then you can put both units back down. And from here I want you to notice this colored flap from the first unit that extends past the left edge of the second unit. And all we want to do is lift up that colored flap, and we want to fold it over to the right as far as it'll go. And your crease should align with the left edge of the second unit here. So just make your crease through all layers, And now you've connected the first two units. The back side of the model should look like this. Then we're just going to flip it back over, and now we're going to add a third unit the same way. So once again, we're going to slightly rotate the two units that we already connected, and from here we want to insert the right side of the third unit inside the colored pocket here on the second unit. So we're going to do that by lifting up all three units, and we want to slide the second and third units together like this, again inserting the right side of the third unit inside of the second unit's pocket. And you may need to slightly adjust the units until their colored flaps come to a common point at the center of the model, and until their white and colored edges align as well. And once you have that, then you can put all three units back down. Then again, you'll notice this colored flap from the second unit that extends past the left edge of the third unit. And all we want to do is lift up that flap and fold it over to the right as far as it'll go. So we're just going to fold it over like this. And again, your crease should align with the left edge of the second unit here. So just make your crease through all layers. And now you've connected the first three units. And now we're going to add a fourth unit the same way. So again, slightly rotate the three units that we already connected. And we want to carefully slide the fourth and third units together, just like we did before, by inserting the right side of the fourth unit inside of the colored pocket on the third unit. Again, you may have to slightly adjust them so that their colored flaps align at the center of the model, and until the colored and white edges align on top as well. Then you can put all four units back down. And again, you'll notice the colored flap from the third unit extending past the right edge of the fourth unit. So what we want to do is lift up that flap and fold it over to the right as far as it'll go. And crease sharply through all layers. And once you have this, then you've connected 4 units. And now we're going to add the remaining 4 units the same way. And as you continue adding more units, you'll start to see that they'll overlap with the first one. And you just want to continue adding units on top of the other layers because it makes it a little bit easier to lock them together. And once you've added the last unit, then we're going to slightly rotate the model. And then to connect the first and last units together, we need to pull the first unit out on top. And we're going to do that by lifting up the model. And then we carefully want to rearrange the layers so that this large flap from the last unit is now held on the bottom of the model. So we're carefully going to grab those layers, and at the same time we want to pull the first unit out on top. So we're just going to carefully rearrange the layers like this. And once the first unit is on top, it should look something like this. Then just like we did with all of the other units, we want to insert the right side of the first unit inside of the colored pocket on the last unit. So you'll see that the colored pocket is slightly hidden underneath, so we're just going to have to bring the first unit behind like this. So just slide the right side of the first unit inside of that colored pocket, just like we did on the other units, so now the front side of the model is symmetrical. Then we're going to turn the model over, and just like we did with all of the other units, we need to lock the first and last units together. So we're simply going to mount and fold this flap along the colored edge of the first unit here. So you just want to take that flap and wrap it around the colored edge of the first unit, just like we did on all of the other units. And your new crease should align with this colored edge on the first unit. You'll now see that the back side of the model is symmetrical, and if you turn it over one last time, then your Origami Stella is complete. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial on how to fold my Origami Stella. Feel free to upload photos of your completed star to the YouTube gallery on my website to be featured here in my next video, or simply upload your photos to Instagram with the hashtag EzOrigami to be featured here as well. Diagrams for this model, along with a couple neat variations, can be found on my website. Also, be sure to check out my Etsy shop for EzOrigami t-shirts and some of my most recent works. I'll link to that in the video description as well. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. And of course, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.